So, in this, I don't know what you call it, a series, an unqualified person drinks a Monster in his garage and looks at news articles. Let's get it started. That's good. Why is a Monster at 9 p.m. so good? I don't know. All right, so I've gone through some of the headlines that caught my attention that have come out since last Thursday, and I've opened up a couple of tabs, so we got a couple of articles here. We've got Koenigsegg wants a sports car that's more attainable. Does that mean you and I will get to buy something with the Koenigsegg badge on it? Unless you're a millionaire, then only one of us will. If you're a millionaire, one of us will? Yeah. Let's see. This one is written by Anthony Alanis on Motor1.com. It says, part of Koenigsegg's appeal is its exclusivity. There's no other brand quite like it, producing multi-million-dollar vehicles that are as much works of art as they are supercars. For now, the Swedish automaker's lineup remains out of reach for most, but that may not always be the case. So, first of all, big Koenigsegg fan. They are one of the few companies that I would really like to work for in the future. I'm really happy to be where I am, but if an opportunity ever came up, it would be incredibly difficult to turn down. Christian von Koenigsegg, in a recent interview with CarBuzz, said that the company is thinking of making sports cars that are more obtainable. So something that's less expensive than the $3.4 million Jesko, for example, von Koenigsegg. Von Koenigsegg said, "We've been dabbling with the idea of maybe going up in volume, making simpler, more obtainable sports cars." Koenigsegg has built its reputation on low-volume, high-end hypercars, and this approach has served the company well since its founding over 30 years ago. The company produces a few dozen cars per year, although the company did increase its production capacity in 2023 for the Jesko and Gemera, tripling its factory footprint. Fun fact, I learned Tuesday night that Koenigsegg put in a bid to buy Swedish manufacturer Saab back in the early 2010s. And I can't help but wonder what could have been if they had gotten their mad scientists to focus on a high volume production company like that. I think it would have been next level. Saab would have been such an incredible brand if that had gone through, but alas, it was not meant to be. So they will stick to more obtainable cars, potentially. Let's see. But Koenigsegg admitted to the publication that a high-volume sports car would be a big jump from where we are and a different animal than the low-volume production the company currently does. He added, "We think we need to take it very much step by step, not to stumble. If the company wants to build sports cars in volume, it'll need even more factory space and employees. Not only would the company have a higher demand to meet, but it would also need to be able to compete with similarly obtainable options, whatever they may be." Obtainable to Koenigsegg might mean a mid to high six-figure sports car that competes with Ferrari and Lamborghini rather than Porsche. He didn't specify. The bespoke automaker certainly has the engineering prowess and powertrains to create something truly special. Yeah, just speculating, like, if Koenigsegg were to take their tiny friendly giant, the 3-cylinder twin turbo engine that they have in the regular Gemera, if they could put that into a small car, think like Alpha 4C size or Porsche Cayman, they would have themselves quite the weapon. Especially if you pair that with their Lightspeed transmission. Their Lightspeed transmission in that 3-cylinder, and possibly like a mild hybrid would just be a killer little car. Moving on to other things that we cannot have. These were Europe's best-selling cars last month. A whopping 790,177 cars were sold in Europe last month, representing a 5% increase compared to the same month in 2024. Volkswagen sold 14,639 units of its T-Roc SUV, making it the best-selling car in Europe for the month and one of the most popular cars of the year so far. This figure reflects a 14% increase for the outgoing generation of the T-Roc, just as the new model debuted at the end of August. Meanwhile, its closest competitors, the Dacia Sandero and Toyota Yaris Cross, ranked second and third respectively, saw declines compared to August 2024. Following the Volkswagen T-Roc, the Dacia Sandero, 13,834 registrations, down 11%, and the Toyota Yaris Cross, 12,201, down 8%, secured second and third place respectively on the list of best-selling cars in Europe in August 2025. The Volkswagen Tiguan followed closely behind in fourth with its 12,094 units sold, marking a 23% increase compared to August 2024. In contrast, the Renault Clio slipped to fifth place with 12,091 registrations, possibly impacted by anticipation for the new generation that debuted at the 2025 Munich Motor Show. The rest of the top 10, compiled by Jado Dynamics, includes the Hyundai Tucson in sixth, followed by the Dacia Duster, Toyota Yaris, Opel Corsa, and Volkswagen Golf. Here is the full list. So of this list, about 50% of them aren't sold in Canada or the US. We have T-Roc, Sandero, Yaris Cross, Clio, Duster, Corsa. I also can't help but notice how well Volkswagen sells in Europe. Like, as a North American, you think of Volkswagen as being kind of a quirky brand that not too many people will purchase because it's kind of a mid-market brand and not super common. But in Europe, they seem to be doing just fine. It says here even the Volkswagen Group as a whole sold 219,048 vehicles. I wonder if they're including like Seat and Porsche and Audi and other brands in that. Who can say? Here's one that really caught my attention. The article's headline is, "This tiny engine could save internal combustion. We talked to the company's CEO." First of all, let's be clear. I don't think internal combustion is going anywhere anytime soon. I think the electric car buzz is fading, and it's just a matter of time before every company completely backtracks their electric car future plans. It's already happening. Like Chrysler, or Stellantis now, I guess, tried to do it with that Challenger or Charger. I can't remember. I can't remember if they called it a Challenger or a Charger. It just goes to show how much I care about that vehicle. Either way, they've backtracked big time. Several other auto manufacturers have already walked back their, 2030, 2035 all electric plans. it's not happening. Nobody wants it. Nobody's on board with that. Let's see if this changes things. So in this article, we've got Horse Powertrain, a global supplier of powertrain systems, unveiled its latest hybrid and combustion innovations at the IAA Mobility Show in Munich this year. The company supplies parts for leading automotive manufacturers like Renault, Geely, Volvo, Proton, Nissan, and Mitsubishi. Excuse me. Headquartered in London, Horse Powertrain operates 17 manufacturing plants and 5 development centers worldwide, employing approximately 19,000 people. Ownership of the company is split between Renault Group and Geely, each holding a 45% stake, while Aramco holds the remaining 10%. Until I read this article, I had no idea who Horse Powertrain was. But I've got to say, that is a very clever name. I don't know why I did that. Very clever name. How's that? Just like the idea of horsepower being in somebody's company name is kind of humorous. Tells you that somebody has a sense of humor in their marketing department. The highlight of the presentation was the debut of the Horse C15, a new family of compact range extender systems. The motor, generator, and cooling systems are integrated into a suitcase-shaped housing that measures just 18.9 by 19.3 by 9.8 inches. The unit is designed for flexible installation either horizontally or vertically. Excuse me. Wow. That was quite the tickle. I think I'm also coming down with a bit of a cold. My Rose has been nunny all day. The system is based on a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. A naturally aspirated version producing around 94 horsepower is designed for smaller vehicles, while turbocharged variant can deliver up to 161 horsepower. The C15 is compatible with a wide range of fuels, including gasoline, ethanol, methanol, and synthetic fuels. Another key innovation presented by Horse is the Future Hybrid system, first unveiled at Auto Shanghai. This all-in-one solution integrates the engine, transmission, electric motor, and power electronics into a single unit. It enables battery electric vehicles to be converted into hybrid, plug-in hybrid, or range-extended models with minimal structural modifications. Horse introduced 2 variants of the system, a 29-inch wide performance version featuring 2 electric motors, a 26-inch wide ultra-compact version with a single motor. Both configurations use a 1.5 liter 4-cylinder engine paired with a dedicated hybrid transmission. The company also debuted its Horse 4D HT120, a compact 5-in-1 power unit that combines an electric motor with a hybrid starter, generator, power electronics module, and transmission, delivering 107 horsepower of continuous power, 188 horsepower of peak power, and 221 pound-feet of torque. The 4D HT120 offers a space-efficient, high-performance hybrid solution. So I think this is where manufacturers need to be focused. Don't worry about the full electric stuff. Build something clever like this. Having everything all in one unit, so compact, gives you all the room in the world. You can put that in almost any platform you want. Like front engine, front wheel drive, rear/mid engine, rear wheel drive. It's kind of clever. I don't know why we're all so gung-ho about being fully electric when A, the consumer is not ready for it, and B, the infrastructure is not ready for it. All right, here's something else interesting. New Audi RS6 prototype caught testing, and it's no EV. I didn't realize that the Audi RS6 needed an update already, but I guess we're getting one. As the electric market in the US shifts, automakers continue to pull back on EV projects. Audi is no exception. While the German brand recently debuted the battery-powered A6 e-tron sedan, the company has reportedly canceled plans for its high-performance RS6 Avant EV. That's disappointing news for the admittedly small group of enthusiasts looking forward to Audi's electric station wagon. The good news is that the RS6 Avant isn't dead. Audi is still working on a new combustion-powered version of its beloved performance wagon, and this new spy video proves it. A new video from the NCARS YouTube channel shows the upcoming RS6 testing on public roads in Spain. While the exact powertrain remains a mystery, one thing's clear: this isn't an EV. The videographer suggests that the prototype features either a V6 or a V8 engine paired with a plug-in hybrid system. Recent spy shots from the Nürburgring support the hybrid theory, and if we had to guess, Audi will likely slot its twin turbocharged 4-liter V8. Yeah, I can see that happening. I think Audi is realizing very quickly that nobody wants a sedan that's heavier, more expensive, and more inconvenient to operate than what they currently have. So it's a tough sell for sure. Toyota claims people need to appreciate hybrid sports cars. If you haven't checked out our latest episode of the Concept We Forgot series, we focus on Toyota's obscure GRMN Sports Hybrid Concept 2. Developed over a decade ago, it was a mid-engine attempt at creating a fun electrified vehicle. However, it never materialized into a production model. The same can be said about the 2017 GR-HV Sport, a hybrid 86 with a Targa top. Despite testing hybrids in race conditions, Toyota's reluctance to launch a sports car with an electrified powertrain continues to this day. That said, it won't be long before its luxury brand Lexus pulls the wraps off what reports have dubbed the LFR, widely believed to feature an electrified setup centered around a V8. I want Toyota to succeed with a hybrid sports car because that's at least better than a fully electric sports car. But I think thus far they've played it pretty safe and smart by not going the full hybrid route. I think they have probably one of the last good, well-rounded sports car lineups. Just in the Toyota family, you've got Supra, you've got the GR86, you've got the GR Corolla, and reportedly what do we got? They've got the Celica concept potentially coming out, as well as what else were they talking about? Oh, an MR2. They were there's rumors about an MR2. An MR2 being developed as well. So, of all of the companies trying to stay in the sports car market for the average consumer, I think Toyota's doing the best job. They've got the most options for the everyday consumer. There are companies that have more sports cars and more options, but those companies typically charge more for their vehicles. And along those same lines, this article from Motor One says a Ford Mustang hybrid might actually happen. Oh boy. I'm not sure if that will get more or less backlash than when they made an electric SUV and slapped the Mustang name on it. I feel like the Mustang crowd is very um, V8 loyalists. But then again, they've also had the V6 and the 4-cylinder for quite some time, so it wouldn't surprise me too much if they decide to go down this route. This article by Chris Perkins starts off with, it was 2017 when Mark Fields, Ford CEO at the time, announced a hybrid Mustang. Since then, there have been rumors and reports of an electrified Mustang and the Mustang Mach-E electric SUV, but no production Mustang hybrid. Now we know that Ford is at least working on a hybridized Mustang. The news comes to us from Ford Authority, which reports that Ford is actively working on a hybrid version of the current S650 generation Mustang, codenamed the S650E. Ford Authority says that the automaker has built mule prototypes of the car, though it doesn't know what sort of hybrid powertrain they're using. The report also says it's unclear when or if this car will reach production, given the Trump administration's effective cancellation of fuel economy regulations. Back in 23, CEO Jim Farley said the company had no plans to do an all-electric Mustang coupe, but was open to the possibility of a partially electrified model. Last year, Farley also said that Ford Racing, knee Ford Performance, is testing hybrid powertrains, so the company sees the performance potential in adding electrification. Since Ford's initial 2017 announcement, the hybrid performance car has become a much more normalized thing, but no one is doing an affordable performance hybrid. The cheapest is the Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray, which starts at over $100,000. What do you guys think? Is a hybrid Mustang something that anybody is asking for? And if it's produced, will anyone buy it? These are the real questions in life. Jumping over to Motor Trend, we've got an article titled 18 Car Features We Absolutely Hate. Let's see if we agree with this list. First up, multi-function switches. Whether it's 2 window switches that do the work of 4, knobs and touch-sensitive buttons that switch from volume and stereo controls to temperature and climate controls, or some other cost-cutting combination of functions, we hate it. More editors complain about this trend than any other. If a feature gets used enough to need a hard button, it needs its own hard button. I couldn't agree more. This goes back to what I was saying last time about us needing physical buttons for all of our main features that we use on a regular basis, because this is the touchscreen thing it needs to go away. Their next one is air vent controlled by screens. Yes, give me a physical button. Let me choose floor, dash, windshield. Give me those 3 options and in one button or pair of buttons that I can use. Hyperactive active safety systems. Some of them beep at you about every little thing. Some of them slam on the brakes when you're backing into a garage and are still 4 feet from the wall. Some throw constant false alerts or grab the brakes when there's no actual danger. No matter what, these well-intentioned systems instead become sources of anxiety and frustration, at which point we just turn them off, defeating the entire purpose. Yeah, the overly sensitive active driving assists are the bane of my existence. This was especially bad at Volkswagen when we were backing vehicles out. It would slam on the brakes 3 feet before you got to the garage door, even though it's wide open and it's a super wide door. It was just absolutely frustrating. Bad blind spot monitoring. Touch sensitive steering wheel controls. This is right back at the we need physical buttons argument. Bad driver monitoring systems. If you're going to offer steering assistance systems and especially hands-free systems, do it right. Spend the money on a driver-facing camera or a touch-sensitive steering wheel rim. Most of America's roads are straight, demanding that drivers jiggle the steering wheel periodically, even when their hands are already on it and their eyes are on the road. It's obnoxious. Similarly, quit grabbing at the steering wheel if the car isn't in the exact center of the lane. It's okay to leave a little wiggle room to account for traffic and objects in the road. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like, it's pretty annoying that I can't just drive down the road with my hand on the wheel. That's not enough. Even though I'm driving perfectly straight and I'm wide awake, still needs me to play treat the lines like bumpers on a bowling lane. Forgetful settings. Drivers personalize their cars. They choose which features they want enabled and at what sensitivity or intensity. They'd like to not have to reset everything on every single drive. This goes double if the vehicle has an individual or similar settings mode. Every setting should remain the same when you turn the car off and back on again. Exactly. If I get out of my car in sport mode, I would like to get in my car in sport mode. Or quiet mode for that matter. You pull into a neighborhood at night and then have to go to work super early in the morning. You don't want it to disturb your neighbors. A power boost. Every vehicle already has a power boost mode. It's called the accelerator pedal. Exactly. If that pedal goes to the floor, that's full power. That is my request. Please deliver. We don't need a second button. That's just asinine. Key cards instead of fobs. Yep, those can go away immediately. Can you imagine losing your wallet, your debit cards, and your car card is gone, and now you're stuck. Shin busting steps. My biggest gripe with steps was when I worked at Chrysler. Everybody that put running boards on their Dodge Caravan, I just wanted to punch in the face. They're at the worst level. You always nail your shin off of it. If you're getting out of it with clean pants, you no longer have clean pants, or you have to do that awkward half step to get into the car. It's just insane. Please stop reinventing exterior door handles. That is all. Yeah, I'm okay with like a cutaway in the rear quarter panel so you can stick your hand into the door and that way it doesn't disrupt airflow. But especially on cars like Teslas and Range Rovers where the door handle pops out, it's just annoying and it's one more thing to go wrong. No direct tune. Absolutely. So I haven't seen a single thing on this list that I disagree with. If I'm going into the radio and I know the local station I want to listen to, give me a way to punch in that frequency. And that goes for satellite radio as well. Just make it simple, please. No one pedal EV driving. I don't have enough experience in EVs to have an opinion here. I think I would have to get used to one pedal driving before I could be upset about a car not having it. My EV driving experience is pretty limited. Volkswagen didn't have too many electric models before I left. They only had the ID4 and previous to that the e-Golf. And I don't know if either one of them had one pedal driving. I can't remember. But one pedal driving is kind of trippy. So I kind of prefer, at least as someone that doesn't drive EVs often, I prefer to be able to use my brake pedal just as, like coasting and using the brakes as normal. No home screen. Some automakers, Toyota and Lexus especially, but also Rivian, have chosen to forego home screens for their infotainment systems, presumably to make them simpler. We're okay with a little complexity in this case. At minimum, a home screen where you can easily find all the major features and categories of features rather than searching through endless menus. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I want to have like my base, this is where you start screen, click on these different things. Hot wireless phone chargers. Wireless charging creates heat and phones stop charging when they get too hot. Running CarPlay or Android Auto while streaming maps and audio also makes heat. Doing all that while crammed in a little slot or compartment creates an oven. Your phone then ends up with less charge than when you started. There's a simple solution and some automakers are already doing it. Blow cool air on the phone. Done. Yeah, that makes sense. At least have your phone, like your charging pad, in an area where it doesn't bake itself to death. Extremely bright yet dumb headlights. Yeah, if we're gonna have these headlights, why are we not choosing where they shine? Adaptive headlights are a thing in Europe, and we just can't seem to make our safety standards, we can't seem to bring them up to date for some reason. Touch sensitive volume controls. Yep, give me a knob, please. No USB cord cutout. If you're going to hide the USB ports in a compartment with a lid, fine, but there needs to be a way for the cord to get out. Slamming the lid down on your charging cable is a needless frustration. Just mold a little cutout into the lid or compartment wall for the cord to pass through. This goes double if you don't offer wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. Yeah, 100%. We're a cell phone or smartphone society. Everybody has one. Why are we not accounting for this? Like, not every vehicle has a compartment where they can put the phone and the charging cord in and wrap it all up in one slot. So if I'm gonna have my phone outside of the compartment that the charger or the charging port is in, give me a cutout at bare minimum. Because nobody wants to replace their charging cable 3 times a year because their center console closes on it and pinches it. I think that's going to be it for me for tonight. If anybody jumps in and has any questions, I'll be here for another couple of seconds. Other than that, I think I'm newsed out. All right, going once, going twice. That'll be it for me tonight. Have a good night, everybody. And I will catch you next Thursday.